All right, it's time.
Addie's Reddit Rundown. Let's
And she's
go.
running to it. Do you see her over there?
Yes. Huffing and puffing and huffing and puffing and huffing and puffing. Careful,
All
it's
right.
hitting my fallout.
Yeah,
Let's unpack
Could you
this,
imagine?
guys. It's Adawe's Reddit Rundown.
I mean, it is live. Could you imagine?
So,
It could.
Oh my god.
Today's story.
Crochet.
I know. With her crocheted top, she is wearing a doily. All right.
You guys, this top is so hard too because they go all over.
I know.
Can you
Stay
maybe
that way.
maybe we close the shirt?
We
during
can tape them.
Okay.
Look, it's just sideways.
Please don't. Oh my God. Focus.
I love
Adawe
it.
Beth.
Okay.
So, this one is from the subreddit. The original post is from the subreddit relationship advice.
Oh.
But
I don't think we've had this one yet.
But then this one happened to make it to best of Redditor updates.
Oh.
And like in general, this is one of my favorite Reddit stories.
Okay.
Oh.
Here we go.
But we haven't had this one yet.
Of course not.
I mean, like relationship advice.
Oh, yeah, I
column.
don't think so.
This
I
is
don't
new.
think so. Yep.
Okay, good.
So
We're ready.
the TLDR is my 42-year-old female husband, 42-year-old male, has informed me he intends to go on a gaycation with his BIL,
Brother-in-law.
35-year-old male, in Ibiza. How do I handle this?
Ooh.
Wait. I need clarification before we move forward.
Okay.
You said a gaycation.
Yeah.
Does that mean him and his
You
brother-in-law?
don't get that clarification
Okay.
yet.
I'm so confused already.
Hi there. I really wish I didn't have to make this post, but here goes. So, me and my husband have been happily married for about 16 years, give or take. We both have stable careers, good family life, and are fairly fortunate despite the cost of living racking up in the UK right now. We have two boys, 15 and 10, and up until this Sunday, thought we had it pretty good. We argue sometimes, of course, but never gotten too bad, and we have a pretty decent sex life with some explorations, but I won't get into that. Long and short is, on Sunday, just after I dropped our boys off at their friends, my husband asked me if we had the house alone, and more importantly, do I have a minute? I said yes, and he sat me down and then got out this printed poster for some sort of orgy and started explaining to me the concept of a gaycation. How it's where straight men go to somewhere with sun, sand, and booze and become gay for the duration of the trip. But that's fine because it doesn't actually count because what happens on the gaycation stays on the gaycation. I was just completely silent and mortified. Even more so when he said he was looking into booking a trip to Ibiza next year with his brother-in-law to experience it for himself. When he finally let me speak, I just said, I need him to be clear with me. Is he gay? Because if yes, that's okay. But we need to figure out what happens going forward. I didn't let myself get angry or upset. I was just stunned. He swore up and down he's not gay and he's 100% attracted to women and of course still loves me and our boys. So I said, well, do you think you're bi maybe? And he got very defensive, saying how I needed to drop the accusations and that this is the beauty of the gaycation. It allows straight men to experience gayness without actually being gay and how it's like going to an aquarium. And again, he was adamant. He doesn't find men's bodies or genitalia exciting at all, but he needs to experience this apparently. I said, well, I'm not really comfortable because even if he was bi, that would be explicitly cheating on me. And he got angry and reiterated he's not because that's the beauty of the gaycation. I just had enough and left the room. I ignored him for the rest of the day, but we spoke at tea where I again asked him, why does he want to do this so bad if he's not gay? He said how he's interested in gay men and how gay men's lives differ from straight men's and that unfortunately once the gaycation begins, it's simply impossible for a man to resist and he must surrender himself, mind, body, and soul to the gaycation or be destroyed. I really can't put into words how surreal it was because he was speaking so matter-of-factly and he again insists that this thing is a thing that straight men do all the time and how he's actually doing it a bit late. I just said to him, if he's got any love for me, then he can't go ahead with this. And if he does, the marriage will be dead. We didn't speak anymore after that. Since then, he's mentioned no more of it, but somehow this is what scares me a lot too. That decision genuinely seems to be tearing him up? I don't know. He didn't go
Literally.
He didn't go into work on Monday and only went in a half day yesterday because he told all of them he just felt too ill and just looks distraught every time I see him. I really don't think he's wholly gay though. I can absolutely believe he's bi, but I'd rather we talked about it in a healthy way than this incredibly weird denialism around going on a sex holiday to Ibiza. Has anyone known straight guys to do this and come back and just be straight? Like, surely that can't be a thing that happens. I'm so out of my depth here, and I just don't know how to even initiate the conversation. For the record, I also haven't mentioned this to his sister yet. I just don't know how I'd even break it to her. Thanks for any help. I just don't even want to think about being able to get out there about being able to get this out there, and it has helped me even just a little bit.
Baby.
I know it's a long one, guys, but I'm sorry. It's so worth
No,
it.
don't apologize for this ridiculousness.
I don't even know.
So, like, is this a thing? Is my first question.
Well, okay. Remember I was teaching you about the word trade? This
Yeah.
is trade.
Okay,
this is
so
what a trade would
explain
be.
to the people, because this is not something that I had ever heard of either.
So a trade is a straight man who diddle dabbles with gay culture on the side. They could be. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily lump them into the gay culture, but they definitely, dance around that line. And this is what I think this is like a trade kind of a moment. But this is weird that I don't know.
He's like asking his wife, so he's like not trying to sneak it. And he so surely fully believes
That's stupid.
that, like,
Who told
you
him
have to
that?
surrender to the gaycation. And the fact that he keeps saying that's the beauty of the gaycation. Like,
I could see, like, if he's hanging out with his buddies that are gay and, like, that he just goes along on the trip, but, you know what I mean? But
no, but he's
they're making it
literally
sound like this is,
saying
like, some sort of,
the
like,
point is
orgy fest.
you go to surrender
Oof.
to the situation, and
Breathe
it's
in,
an
buddy.
orgy fest in Ibiza.
God.
So
I'm sorry. He is definitely not straight. I'm going to go
no,
there. Yeah.
no, and no, and no,
Yeah.
and no.
Yeah. Honey, run for the hills. That's I'm going to give her that advice.
I just need the update, because I can tell you right now, I feel bad for this woman, because I have friends.
what would you do if Dave said to you this? What would you do if Dave was like,
Well,
honey, I want to go to Ibiza for the gaycation, and I'm gonna have
I can't even imagine.
just let's go fully there. What would you do? You would say no, right?
I would say that if that's something that he wants to do, then Godspeed and good luck. But I wouldn't be here upon his return, because he clearly
Has something to work out.
Well, he needs to then okay then. But you can't double down and be like, I'm straight. I'm just gonna go to Ibiza and diddle daddle with Doug and Davey and Dan and.
Does she
Like-
say what they do or no?
When I hear surrender to the
Yeah.
gaycation,
I hear
I feel
anal.
like that's a
Yeah.
very.
I mean, a lot of, like, the strippers are straight in the gay clubs, like the go-go boys and stuff.
Like, people just make money is how they
Yeah,
make
they're just
monies.
muscle gods that are just up there, in their tidy whities and dancing with high tops on. I've only heard about it. But I'm just saying, like, the majority of them are straight, and that's how they make a living.
But this is
weird.
outside. This is stepping outside of your marriage vows.
Yeah.
He's asking for permission to step outside of his marriage vows while saying, "I'm not gay, but I'm going to go do gay sex, and when I come home, everything should be fine." And how is that okay?
you
so
can't have
unfair.
your cake and eat it too.
Like, to me, that's like absolutely not.
It's just not fair.
But I have friends. I have actual friends whose husbands have come out as gay, 16, 18, 20 years after marriage, having kids, all of the ordeal,
I'm
right?
sorry for those wives.
And I've
That's
watched
sad.
this. I've talked with these women, and it is completely earth-shattering and shakes them to their core, and there's this whole start over. But I've never had one of them be like, well, he told me he's straight, but he just wants to do gay things, but then he's going to come back
It's
and
like
be
so
straight.
selfish to be like, I want both.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
my perfect life and this other thing.
I don't even understand how you could ask
So,
somebody that,
a
unless
commenter-
you're in an open marriage, and then it's a whole totally different rules where
Right.
you're like, I'm going to go to Ibiza for a gaycation. Like, cool, next week I'm going to Paris for I don't know,
A
whatever
romp.
they do there.
Yeah.
A
The
commenter
Eiffel
said,
Tower.
your husband isn't proposing a gaycation. He's proposing cheating on you with men while using magical thinking to pretend it doesn't count. The fact
Yeah.
that he's planning on this
Gaslighting.
with his sister's husband makes it even more disturbing. His
Gross.
bizarre explanation about surrendering mind, body, and soul isn't straight man curiosity. It's someone desperately trying to justify exploring his sexuality while keeping his heterosexual marriage. His depression is not about being able to isn't about missing a vacation. It's about being forced to confront his sexuality without
Yeah.
his convenient what happens in Ibiza stays
That
in Ibiza.
answer is
Yeah.
exactly what I
He
wanted to
doesn't
say.
want to
Yeah.
come out
Yeah.
because he doesn't want to get divorced. And
Constipated.
yeah, so no. What's the update? What?
Update. So when I posted I'd contacted my husband to tell him he wouldn't be staying at home tonight and a bag would be waiting for him. As you can imagine, we argued quite badly. I won't go into the specific details, but no, I'm 100% on board with the fact At a minimum, he's bi, might even be gay altogether. We've had arguments in the past, but I've genuinely never seen him have such a childish tantrum before, screaming about how I just don't understand the gaycation.
He's gay, honey, yeah.
Absolutely despise that phrase now. And insulting that I'm actually homophobic because I refuse to allow him to participate in this cultural exchange with the gay community.
Gaslighting.
Cultural exchange
A lot
is
of-
baking someone a pie. It is not surrendering your apple bottom to somebody
Leapfrog.
with boots in fur.
Leapfrog.
Good
A lot of you
grief.
said to ask him if it'd be acceptable if the roles were in reverse. And I did say, would it be acceptable if I went and slept with other guys during that week? Like effing clockwork, he was very angry and offended, saying it's completely different because a gaycation means nothing. It means nothing, and what happens on the gaycation stays on the gaycation. So it doesn't
Why does
actually
he
count.
keep saying
Whereas I would just be straight up cheating. Well, I turned it around on him. No, but you see what happens in Manchester stays in Manchester. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't count. It's like bird watching. And I think it got through to him. He went all quiet and then started crying, admitting that the thought of me sleeping with another man is destroying his heart. But relationships need sacrifices. So agreed, while in tears, that when he goes to the gaycation, I'll get 1 week in Manchester to do whatever I want. He doesn't want me to, but that's fair in a twisted way, he supposed. I told him to get out of the house.
Good for her.
Thankfully, he left without a fight. I know it's incredibly petty, but I also drained the joint bank account legal in the UK, so he couldn't try to use it against me. About an hour later, I got rang up by his mom, who just screamed and screamed at me about being a cheating
Wow. Who's Oza?
a cheating, you know what,
Yes.
how I was horrible, what about the kids, etc. When I finally got my composure back, I just asked your son about the gaycation. Oh, I said, just ask your son about the gaycation. Obviously, at first she got angry, but I said, no, just ask him about the gaycation. He'll explain. But she called me a effing joke and hung up. Later on, getting into the evening, got another phone call from her in the floods of tears. She was very apologetic, and I told her she didn't need to be the one to apologize. She was so upset. She put Phil on the phone. Oh, she put him on the phone, who, while he sounded calm, I could just sort of tell he was on the warpath. Maybe, what is FIL?
Father-in-law.
Father-in-law, yeah.
I was
Again-
like, who's Phil? Where did we miss him in the story?
I know, I was so confused. I'm
Yeah,
like, see, I'm the
father-in-law.
one who doesn't know the letters.
That's okay.
Again, very apologetic, and said he overheard that phrase, asked my husband, and husband initially said, no, it's nothing, before explaining how it's a modern thing men do, and gave them the same spiel about what happens on gaycation. Men cannot resist the gaycation, and how men must surrender to the gaycation, etc. Father-in-law just said they told him to leave or they'd call the police. Don't care where he goes, but he isn't staying there. Husband
Well, he'll
tried to
get
call
laid there too.
Husband tried to call me while I was on the phone, but I just ignored it. And father-in-law said he was so sorry for me and that they have my corner in this. So that's the thing. Told them to be there for their daughter because it sounds like brother-in-law is involved. Husband didn't tell them that. And father-in-law just said he had to go because he was so angry. Got a text from my husband after the phone calls, which were all weirdly rambly, saying about how I'd abused the gaycation to destroy his marriage and destroy his life. And again, insisted that I and his parents were homophobic for doing such things. Told him we'll talk when he grows up, and blocked his number. I took a day off of work myself to have my locks changed this morning, and that's 500 pounds gone, but whatever. At least I know he won't be coming back. I'm going to look into how to proceed with a divorce, and we'll move from there. Oh, of course, there's also his brother-in-law. So I haven't yet met with sister-in-law. She was in a state and has taken it this far worse than I, and the response is clear. We're going to maybe try tomorrow, but we did talk over the phone, and I eavesdropped on the conversation with her husband where she put her on the phone speaker and I went on mute. Her husband got home earlier. She made him come home, told him there was an emergency, and just said to him, can you please explain what a gaycation is? She told me afterwards she was praying he'd look confused or just be like, what, or anything like that, but instead, he just sat her down and explained that a gaycation is a new thing where straight men go to gay spots and participate in gay sex acts, but it doesn't count because there's no investment and because what happens on the
guys are
gaycation
idiots.
stays on the gaycation. He said it like he was writing down angry thoughts and putting them in a drawer. You never have to see them again. The whole time sister-in-law was in tears, and he just calmly bats off the same points my husband did about how it doesn't count, and he never did. He even did the whole it's impossible to resist, you must surrender or be destroyed shit. I seriously think they must be speaking to a dominatrix or something.
Gotta be.
Are there even male doms? Because surely
Yes.
neither of them are into this actually into this enough to actually make this up on their own. I really don't want to go into what was discussed for her sake, but it did become completely apparent to me that the brother-in-law is into sissy hypno porn and at times conflated with what the concept of a gaycation was.
Okay, I just de-gayed because I couldn't deal with it anymore.
That's insane.
So
that is the most insane
so much
Reddit.
more to this story that you guys could easily look this up and read it on your own. I won't read the whole thing.
This is insane stupid,
but
though.
There's comments, there's response, there's updates, there's more updates, there's everyone's involvement. If you want to know more about this story, feel free to look up the subreddit.
Do they end up fully divorced, I hope?
They're definitely getting fully divorced, and also like the whole family dynamic is different. The family is changed. Like the sister-in-law, like this guy and his brother-in-law are like they're outed from the family. Like they're the ones being so weird in the family. Their own parents.
I wonder if they're going to be a couple now. The brother and the brother-in-law.
They should be.
They're both gay.
This is disgusting.
It's so weird. Like I
It
want to
just
know
gives
who
all of us
is,
a bad name.
I want to
Oh.
know who is talking to them about this, and also I kind of want to go to Ibiza.
Oh, Ibiza's so much fun. I can show you exactly where to go. It
Let's
is a
do it.
gorgeous little fun place to go. It's really, you just party all the
Seems
time.
like if you're single, it's the place to be.
Yes, and you literally don't stop dancing.
Lisa Chapman said, "This is not cool." Right?
Yeah.
I agree, Lisa.
This is weird.
That is super weird, but
That one had me.
tongue-tied. Emotional.
I just feel really bad for
I mean,
her.
Davey, what do you think about this?
I de-gayed on that story. I took my sparkle off. It literally deflated my gay.
You stopped glittering.
My thing is, I feel like he and his brother-in-law should just live an honest life. Like, literally go be gay and be happy.
I
Go
mean, it
move
sounds
to
like they're
Ibiza.
over in Europe, so it's way accepted over there. He just wants his cake and eat it too, which
Which that's where it's
what
like,
I
you're
don't
just a
like.
jerk. You don't get to have all of it.
yeah, no,
Think
you've
of your
got to be.
family.
But that's what that. Yeah, you have a family, and that's what a relationship is. You got to be able to see both sides of the fence. You know what I mean? Like 50-50, and that's just not like.
It's crazy how
She's
much-
not going to the LPGA anytime soon, and having like a lesbian fest. No,
Right.
That's not. It's just not right.
And I can't imagine like waking up one day and having to face your life and say, oh my gosh, like this thing that because he just wants to do this thing, it has to be such a catastrophic thing that he wants. Like he could want anything. Why does it have to be this?
I mean, if he really wanted to come out, he should obviously amicably divorce his wife and say, hey, look, Diane von Furstenberg, she's a huge designer out there, and her husband at 80 years old just came out of the closet. And so, you know what I mean? Like, God, you live like with that. And I think.
And it's sad. The only part that I feel sad about, I'm happy that someone gets to live their truth. It's so sad to think that that woman then kind of missed out on something her whole life that
Yeah.
maybe she never got to
Because
experience. I'm
she-
sure she still loved that man.
Yeah.
And there's a type of love they got to share.
Yeah.
But maybe she never got the type of love that she was looking for, and maybe neither did he.
It's
No.
very strange. I mean, like, okay, so I have a family member that was married to a woman, and they came out in the middle of the marriage, and it was a very awkward thing for the whole family to experience. But according to his wife at the time, that he was open about his bisexuality upon getting married. So I thought, like, oh, okay, well, at least there's some sort of honesty or some sort of truth there. This guy is literally like just.
Well, he's just adamantly denying. You can't adamantly deny that you are at least bare minimum bisexual to go and explore gay cardiovascular activity
It's like
on a
literally,
gaycation.
you need to start therapy.
Yeah,
sir.
that's a lot. But
God's sakes.
clean it up like
Seriously.
they do at Panache.